Hey, Tony Gaskins here. Now, popping in just a little extra on the grown boy side. I want you to understand the methodology, the mindset of these grown boys. And the reason why I understand this so well is because I was a grown boy. I was the captain of the team. I was one of the worst. Then I became a grown man. So I understand both sides, both ends of the spectrum. Now, with these grown boys, what you have to realize is, I gotta watch my time over here, is they operating from a place of insecurity. The grown boy's operating from a place of insecurity, and he feels weak. He feels lost. You know, he went through some type of breakup or abandonment or abuse as a child or as an adult, being bullied, being overlooked, being mistreated, being talked about. He's gone through something that has made him bitter, angry, and he's taking his anger and his bitterness and his unfulfillment, he's taking it out on a woman. See, the common denominator with all grown boys will be unfulfillment. And to be unfulfilled as a man, meaning he doesn't know his purpose. So a grown boy can be a millionaire, but you could be a millionaire or a billionaire without true purpose, without a true sense of identity. And so these men then use women as their punching bag, as their human teddy bear. And so he is broken on the inside as a person, and instead of going to a woman and utilizing a woman's strengths and her gifts to strengthen himself and to build himself up while building her up, he wants to do the opposite, because he feels like in order for him to breathe, he needs to steal your oxygen supply. He feels like in order for him to stand tall, he needs to knock you down so he can stand on your back, stand on your shoulders. He feels in order for him to be a man, he has to make you feel like less of a woman. So he doesn't know who he is, and he's not confident in who he is and what he brings to the table. Because if he knows his purpose, he knows the reason he is here and the work that he should be doing, he will be fulfilled, and he will not feel the need to tear down, to use, to manipulate, to deceive, to abuse any other human. Every person he comes in contact with, he will want to help them realize their purpose and help them win if he is a grown man. But as a grown boy, he is operating from fear, and he is operating from insecurity. And the work that it takes to heal that, he will have to hear uncomfortable messages like this. He will have to accept full responsibility for his life and not blame his father, his mother, another race, the government, or a woman. Not blame anybody else, but say, what can I do and what do I need to do to better my situation, regardless of the disadvantages and the unfair treatment that has been levied upon me? What can I do to overcome in spite of? That requires dedication. It requires mental fortitude. It requires sacrifice. And that is painful, because it is thankless work. It is no public reward in the beginning. It feels like you are an unsung hero, and you will see men who are taking shortcuts, who are refusing to grow, who are using women, and they appear to be getting ahead because this woman is buying him a car. This woman is buying him a house. This woman buys him clothes. This woman invests in his business. So he has his foot, this man has his foot on the neck of women, and he is standing on their shoulders and calling himself a giant. So the man who is sacrificing and going at it alone and building himself up as a man, instead of using women and demeaning women, he feels like he is losing because this other man is getting ahead. So that work is so painful, it's so thankless that men on average don't want to do it. And so that's why he remains a grown boy, because the shortcut looks easier. And that's what you have to understand about these grown boys. And so when you recognize, go back to my video about 5 signs that he's a grown boy, 5 signs of a grown boy, however I did it, whatever I titled it. And look at those signs. I think I actually went through 8 of them. Probably could have went through 10 or 15, but I'm just playing. I don't know if it's that many, but listen to that 2 or 3 times, and then understand this video, that when you see this in a man, and you see that this man is competing with you mentally or emotionally, you see that he played a role and he lured you in being sweet and amazing, and then not too far into the relationship, he has flipped the script. Let me check my time. He has flipped the script, and now he's being manipulative, condescending, rude, a little distant, inconsistent. He's doing these things. He is a grown boy. This will typically start to show between 3-month mark and the 6-month mark. Some men could fake up until like the 9-month mark. By then, you will at least have seen 1 to 3 red flags. Do not ignore them. Do not feel like you could change him if you are of age. You over the age of 30. You grown. He's over the age of 30. Do not feel like you could change him. The only way to change him is to leave him. That's the only way to change him, is to leave him. And if you come back, he's not going to change. And listen, don't get caught up feeling like, okay, I put in 9 months, or I put in a year, and if I leave, another woman is going to get him and he's going to treat her better. Because when you leave a grown boy, you're not losing anything, and she is not gaining anything. And you have to understand that. You are not losing anything, and she is not gaining anything. So do not be jealous of who gets to sleep with the hyena. Do not be jealous of who gets this savage. That should be your least concern. You should be excited that you recognize the red flags and that you found the strength to walk away, and that you as a grown woman will eventually attract a grown man who recognizes your worth, realizes your worth, and treats you with love and respect. That's what you need to be excited about. Not worrying about how's he going to treat her, or what is his next relationship going to be like. And even if it does turn out that was not your man, because he already learned the language to speak with you. And that's a language of, him being condescending, him being distant, him being rude, him being inconsistent. So that's not going to change. And a lot of times, you'll look at other people. I'm checking my time. You'll look at other people and you say, well, this person changed, this person changed, that person. Listen, worry about you and your relationship. Stop comparing your grown boy to me, because I said I changed for my wife, because I was 21 years old when I met my wife. You ain't 21 unless you is. And look, I had a calling on my life to do this in love and relationship. So what happened with me and my wife, that was in dating, when 2 months in, the way she said, hey, I'm going about my business. We need to take a break. And she went on about her business. And my ego didn't allow me to chase her. And we bumped back into each other 6 months later, because my homeboy wanted to connect with her roommate. And so me and my wife started back talking. And in that 6 months, I hadn't overcome my ego. But my ego wouldn't let me pursue her, and I was 21. I didn't even value or understand the value of a woman. So a lot of y'all comparing your situation with your man that's 35, 40, 45 to me at 21. And he is not called to what I'm called to be doing right now. So if you look at him and you know his calling is not this right here, to be working for God in love and relationships, then his story is gonna play out different. So you can't look at the next person life and say, well, she stayed, I'm gonna stay, or she gave a second chance, I'm gonna give a. You have to look at your situation, and you got to see how many red flags he has as a grown boy. You got to see how old he is. You got to see how many mistakes he has in his past, how many marriages, how many kids, how many baby mamas. You got to look at how many vices. You see what I mean? You can't compare apples to oranges and just do something because another woman did it, because you don't know all the inner workings that went into that. You don't know if God had his hand and graced their situation for a testimony, and you trying to force something to be a testimony, and it ain't meant to be a testimony because you're in a different situation. So understand that these grown boys, they moving out here today, and they working for the devil, and they seeking to devour, because they want to break down the home. They want to have weak women who having their children, but these women remain barefoot and pregnant, to where you don't have no income, you don't have no say so. You lose your righteous mind. You listen to what he say do. You do what he say do. When he say jump, you say how high. And a lot of these guys will say that ain't what they want, but that's exactly what you get when you break a woman down and you demean her and you condescending and you make her question her intuition that's hip to your games that you playing, and you do a Jedi mind trick to where she thinks she insecure, she thinks she dumb, she thinks she stupid, she thinks she weak because she caught you cheating. And so you breaking her down, and this what they doing, but they saying, no, that ain't what I want. No, I want a strong woman. I want an ambitious woman. No, you're not, because you can't have both. You can't have a woman that's going to be ambitious in business and conquer the world, but then weak and soft in her relationship and afraid to speak her mind and afraid to stand up for herself because of all of the condescending remarks you done gave her and how dumb you done made her feel. And so this what they doing. And this is what you got to recognize and realize, and you got to get it off the jump now. You're going to see it. You're going to see it early. In the first 3 months. Some of them are going to be in the first month. You can't ignore the signs. You cannot ignore the signs. You got, okay, done, boom. And you got to be ready for the marathon. You got to understand this is not a sprint to finding your husband. You got to be ready for the marathon. You got to be ready to leave 10 men before you say yes to the one. It might be 50 men that you got to dump in the first month. It might be 100 men you got to dump in the first month. But when you get the one, it's going to be worthwhile, and you're going to be even more the wiser, and you're going to be even stronger because of what you've gone through. So don't let it break you down. Let it build you up. And I'm willing to be called a simp and soft and all that by a grown boy because I know who I am. And I know what God did for me. And I know a grown boy life can't compare to mine. I know his peace can't compare to mine. So I'll be whatever they want to call me because I know the real. Because I done been that. And I did it on a whole nother level than these grown boys out here trying to do it today. So I understand that back and forth. Like my shoe size. Like my hand. Like the back of my hand. I understand what they doing. And I know where they at. I know they lost. I know they hurt. I know they insecure. I know they weak. I know they lame. I know they all of that right there that a grown boy is, and that a grown man is on the inside and could come out, but because of their influences and who they listening to on YouTube and Instagram, that's what's slowing them down. But hey, I got to get going. God bless you. We'll talk soon.